The consequences of the Russia-Ukraine conflict could be felt across the world. The World Food Programme says many African countries may be affected by disruptions to wheat supplies. In anticipation of possible shocks, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization says the global supply chain must be left open.
We also appeal to governments not to take decisions that might disrupt the economic order even more by perhaps restricting exports from their countries, because doing so would actually favor the country in question. But this would actually increase the global price. Eventually, these same countries may have to import certain products at much higher price than they bargained for.
The conflict could compound Africa's food insecurity. The UN says already over 250 million people face hunger on the continent. Eastern Africa bears a huge brunt. The UN estimates that at least 13 million people in parts of Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia face hunger because of the effects of drought. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization says it needs at least $130 million by June to assist at least 1.5 million of these people. And the situation, it warns, may be about to get worse.
In fact, these countries have had 2 droughts so far, and a 3rd drought is in waiting. That is why we are so much afraid that the assets that we have built over the years using resilience funds and so on may well be eroded. But in addition to drought, we also have flooding in some parts of this region, including South Sudan. Now, we have to be very strategic on how we approach this subject.
With parts of the continent already facing dire hunger, food experts say African countries must work faster towards self-reliance to survive external shocks.
It is also important that farmers or communities that are involved in agriculture and so on try to add value to the crops that they produce, or animals or something like this. The problem with Africa is that it exports raw materials most of the time. So in other words, the value that they get is less than if they had added value to them. Therefore, they would have a lot more money. When in case the prices go up of particular commodities that they import, then they would have the reserves needed for them to import even at that higher price.
The African Union has dedicated this year to strengthen resilience in nutrition and food security on the continent. The challenge is now on the African countries to protect themselves from the disruption that may come out of the Ukraine conflict.